Hey you guys, it is Mommy Loves Tech going live for the first time. Welcome so much to our first ever Hangout, our preview Hangout from Mommy Loves Tech here in Southern California.
Hangout.
Yes,
I'm going to say that a lot because I've never been on a Google Plus Hangout.
That very good point. For those of you who don't know yet of us, my name is Maria Hoban. I'm a mom and I love tech.
I'm Brooke Lee and I'm tech adjacent. I'm what you'd call a tech ambassador of sorts for Mommy Loves Tech.
That's right. Brooke and I actually kind of sort of grew up together in Hawaii.
Yes.
And we moved out here to Southern California kind of almost at the same time. And finding that we're sort of following similar paths and that we had our kids fairly close together, or at least my second.
Yes.
And your first. So we have started this website called Mommy Loves Tech. And we also have a YouTube channel called Mommy Loves Tech. And we produce content, reviews, gadget reviews. We show you websites and anything that has an on-off switch, basically, that can help you, me, us, to make our busy lives easier. So welcome to our first preview Hangout. And I would just want to quickly give a shout out to those two special people who are in our Hangout today. We have Kenton, who is hanging out with us from Canada.
Ooh.
And we also have Sheila, who is hanging out with us from Utah. And we're going to be talking all kinds of mommy stuff. And we're really excited, actually, Brooke, because next week, which is our very first Hangout on air with an expert
on Google Plus,
we're going to talk to Joanna Hyatt, who is
the sex lady.
She refers to herself actually as the sex lady. If you want to look her up, she's at joannahhyatt.com.
Yeah.
And she's a relationship or sexuality expert.
Right. For tweens through through college.
Yep.
Is her specialty.
And it's really appropriate that we talk to her because just this week alone, we featured a couple of news stories that were just astounding, actually. Right. It was shocking to find out about sexting being on the rise among teens, and with more than 1 in 4, that's 20%, admitting to having sent a naked picture of themselves via email or text at some point. Yeah. Wow. That's 1 in 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all roils into the whole, how do you conduct yourself online as you grow up as a child in this world today where everything is online. I'm live, I'm in my Facebook, I'm on my Twitter, and what have you. What are your boundaries, I guess is what we're going to talk about, and where do you draw the line? So.
And also, too, like, at what age do we start talking to our kids about sex? The birds and the bees, as you said, Sheila.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, when did you guys talk about the birds and the bees with your parents? Ever?
I did.
When? How old were you? Do you remember?
Gosh, we started at a very young age, in elementary school.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Wow, really? Yeah.
When I was in 5th and 6th grade, we had sex education in elementary school.
We had that. I don't remember that in 6th grade at all.
No.
Yeah, we learned all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, in my generation, and in the Chinese culture, nothing.
That's
like
taboo,
high
right?
school, and it's not even a sex ed. It's like a integrated science, maybe a half an hour or something like that. A really boring stuff. But I think kids nowadays really need to learn it very, very early. Nowadays, hey, internet is out there, right? You don't, as one of our guests was talking about, I asked him the question about internet porn. Hey, it's out there, and if parents don't teach the kids the right thing, hey, they learn it from elsewhere, right?
I was hanging out with somebody the other day, and I asked him about, and he was in his 20s, how he learned about sex. And I said, did your parents sit you down? And he said, no, I learned sex with my friends. That's how I learned about sex.
And not the proper way either.
And you know where boys learn sex when they are with their friends.
Exactly. So you can just imagine what kind of ideal or how would they define sex? I mean, what would they think is a healthy sexual relationship?
Well, it's
scary.
There was a star of the newsroom who accidentally texted. Did you hear about this? She's like 20s.
She's an adult.
Yeah, she accidentally texted a picture wide to all of her the Twitter fans of her topless.
Oh yeah,
She
I
was
think was that the newsroom star or something? Yeah.
Allison Pill, I think is her
Yeah,
name. Yeah, from the newsroom.
Yeah.
And then she apologized, obviously, because I think she was just trying to send it to her boyfriend.
Was she like DMing someone? Was it maybe?
I have no idea. But I mean, you know,
wow.
that's a person who has a little bit more awareness, you think. And she accidentally, you can imagine what a kid is, you know, texting and you don't know what's going where, you don't know who's getting what, and I mean, you're just starting out in your life. What if you decide to run for president someday? What if Barack Obama had a phone in the 70s?
Could you imagine?
And had decided to, you know, sext Michelle in college. I mean, it'd be over before it ever started. I mean, it's a whole new generation of, you can't see that far ahead. You know, you better make some pretty wise choices early on.
Well, in Canada, there was this young aspiring politician. He had his hand at the lady's breast area, and that picture came out in the election time. Well, guess what? He was gone.
Yeah, see, I mean, we need all the help we can get today, and technology is moving so fast that it's hard to catch up. And when you talk about laws, Kempton, a lot of teens are having to, because of sexting and whatnot, a lot of them are facing charges of, what do you call this? They have to register if they're found guilty of
pedophile. Is it pedophile?
Right. Then they end up finding themselves on the sex offenders list because the laws really haven't caught up to technology.
And those last for like years. I mean, it's on your record.
Right. So we really need to educate our teens about practicing safe text, you know, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Joanna Hyatt's going to be one of our guest experts first up next week, and she's going to talk to us about that. We may also get John Ariel, who is from the familyfriendlyvideogames.com. We'll talk about influences and video games, and Kempton, you talked about porn. It's so readily available for not only us but for kids.
Right.
I mean, there are reports of 9-10-year-olds who are addicted to porn. It's frightening.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's very important that the parents teach the kids consequences.
Right.
It's kind of not making it a taboo subject like drinking and whatnot. The more you forbid it and whatnot, well, when they get their hands on it, they go crazy.
Right. I mean, it's not like you say, like things like, oh, it's secret or whatever. It's called sacred.
Right. But even, I mean, Brooke and I were talking about this segment and talking about the sex lady, and there was a little bit of discomfort about saying the word sex and children. Do you know what I mean? Like we immediately think, oh, sex.
You don't talk to kids about sex. You don't want to talk about kids and sex. That's weird.
It is like you don't want
to lose that innocence, you know, kind of thing. But it's, you know, they're already out.
Well, they're already asking questions elsewhere, so you know.
And culturally, Americans may be more sensitive than even European, definitely, but even Canadian. Like in some of our fashion shows, when you can see breasts, but in American TV shows, not really.
We're actually quite conservative. I mean, when it comes to nudity and you know that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think we're. I mean, we're sort of.
It's weird.
It's weird because people use sex to sell everything in America, but
yet nudity for some reason.
There's a double standard with it, is what it is. I think there's a double standard with it.
There was another story that we talked about today, and that was on the news. It was about this new study where over 1/3 of young adults who were victims of dating violence as teenagers, and having reported having 2 or more abusive partners.
Right.
That's astounding. 13 to 17-year-olds.
Yeah, younger aged.
Right. They're starting earlier. Having these relationships.
Bad relationships.
Right.
And abusive relationships.
It's insane. And what did this one leading author conclude of this study? She said that
many of these kids are getting in relationships early, and by the age of 13. We need to help them learn about healthy relationships and how to set sexual boundaries. It shouldn't be one class session. It needs to be a routine discussion in school.
And also, too, she was saying that there was a surprising part of this study where most teens having reported 2 or more abusive partners. For 1 in 3 teens who were abused, it wasn't just one bad boyfriend or girlfriend. It was the start to a trend that's what's disturbing, is that
Right.
they have almost been desynthesized in a
Right.
way. Like they don't know what a healthy relationship is, so
Right.
they think that it's okay to have, get pushed around or bullying.
Right.
Anyway, so we'll talk to Joanna about defining and helping to define what a healthy relationship should be.
Right. And whether or not sexting is part of a healthy relationship.
Definitely not.
You don't think?
As a parent.
I mean, I don't mean for kids. I mean, like, just in general. Like,
No, I wouldn't even do it.
As an adult, even I don't even know if I would do it, because
yeah, I don't.
I haven't done it, to be honest with you. I just think that anything you put out there online,
It's
whether
exposable.
It's there.
it's there, and you have to, unless you say it to someone,
Right.
or write it in a letter. At least with a letter, you know that it's going to one person. But if it's electronically sent,
Mm-hmm.
you should always consider it as
Public knowledge.
public. Like,
Right.
don't write it
Yeah.
unless you're prepared for it to be read by everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a better view of it. Instead of saying outright no and then don't explain, it's to explain the consequence of. Yeah, I mean, make sure. Hey, would you be happy if everyone in your class
If you
get that
don't
message and not
yeah.
just your boyfriend or girlfriend?
Try it.
Then,
If you don't
then
want
they
to be,
understand. Yeah.
if you don't want to be embarrassed, don't put it out there.
Right. So anyway, these are all really, really important questions, and parents, as a mom, I know I need a lot of help. I'm already thinking about stuff like that. My little one is not even 2 years old yet. And
I'll help you.
well, to be really honest with you, with my first one, sadly, I don't really think I ever sat him down and talked about what a healthy relationship should be. I just hoped that, leading by example.
Well, it's not too late. How old is he?
He's 25.
Oh, well, you can still teach him.
Yeah.
I hope so.
It's a life of learning, right? It's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, I've
You
got
don't
to
stop
cut
learning.
this short, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for hanging out with us, Kempton and Sheila, and thank you everybody
No
who's
problem.
watching on air. Watch out for a notification and our invite, because we are going to have our Hangout next week,
That'll
Thursday.
be my second Google Hangout.
You will be a virgin no more to the Google Plus Hangout. Not to be joking around. But anyway, I'm Maria from Mommy Loves Tech.
And I'm Brooke, Tech Ambassador galore.
We'll see you next time. Okay, thanks so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
bye-bye.
all right, bye bye.